roller rink and do this race and kick butt and have fun. What's going on, everybody?
Race, baby.
Welcome to the MLO live show. Super excited to have my dear friend Lynn Goss is in the house. Wait.
Can I do something for Lynn real quick?
Oh, yeah. No, I want to do it.
Yeah, just real quick, man. I just want to, Happy birthday, Lynn Goss!
Woo!
Yeah, I got you yesterday. We're going to get you again today. We're going to celebrate you all week, Lynn. Happy birthday, and you were our star today. So welcome to the show.
Happy birthday, Lynn. He stole my thunder, man. I was waiting for today to do it, just do it live instead of like on a little hello when we talked last night. So,
but I got to tell you, your methods are working. I got a few video birthday messages.
Oh,
I got to tell you guys, they really landed. I mean, we get hundreds of the texts on Facebook, right? And it's the simple one that we all click. HBD or happy birthday real quick.
Yeah.
But those video ones, they stood out and they meant something. So thank you. Good
stuff. So excited to have you here, my friend. As always, I don't think you need an introduction because you've been on a bunch and you run an amazing business and you're, but why don't you introduce yourself? Tell them what we're going to talk about today. I put it out there. You and I are working on some cool stuff. We can touch on it today. And I'm just over the moon excited about it to roll this out to everybody, but go ahead and introduce yourself. Let's get this party started.
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, everybody. Good morning from California, where it's 5:30 a.m. Just driving to the office. Remind me back when I worked in the brokerage days and we'd leave for the office, and be at the office at 4 a.m. So,
geez.
I'm super happy to be here. My name is Lynn Goss, and I've been in lending for, decades, like many of us, but I've had the pleasure of kind of transitioning my business over the last 5 years or so into the business of divorce. And that's what I really want to come and talk with each of you about today, which is kind of what I've been doing in the area of divorce, along with, I've been a coach at the Divorce Lending Association for the past almost 3 years. And I think that's given me so much insight into what we're going to talk about. So I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah, super excited to have you here. So the best part, and every time I talk to you, not only just on the show, but we have conversations, I always get excited because this is the one niche that, and you're going to talk about this, only 1% of the U.S. LOs or agents even do or have.
Absolutely. So Jody Bruntz, she's the president of the Divorce Lending Association. A few months ago, she put a post on LinkedIn that got so much traction. And the more we really looked at it, they realized that there was a calling in that. In this, it was, less than 1% of all loan officers in the mortgage industry have any kind of divorce training, not necessarily through the association, but any kind of training out there. And, when you think about divorce, it's not just a legal event. It's really for us in our industry, it's a financial earthquake or a financial F up, whatever you want to call it, because anytime we've ever gotten into divorce, right? We've all worked on divorce loans. We generally get it after the divorce decree is already written. We're kind of left to just kind of figure out and go, God, man, I'm so sorry. Like, I can only do so much. And every year there's thousands and thousands of families that face one major question in their court filings, right? And it's what to do with the house. And the attorneys, they understand law. I say this all the time, right? The CDFAs, the Certified Divorce Financial Analysts, those guys are the financial planners that specialize in divorce. Well, those guys, they understand the math, right? But the gap, it's a place where most of the settlements just completely get screwed up, and that's with the mortgage. And that's the space that we are looking to fill, right? And you think about it, if you guys have ever gotten involved in divorce, or if you've ever been divorced, anytime those marital settlement agreements get messed up, it's why. For the one reason. It's not because people don't care. It's because that they're not taking the time to integrate any kind of mortgage strategy before they sign on the dotted line. And that's divorce mortgage planning. Right.
Do the lawyers even care though? I mean, let's be honest. Do they know? And do they care? Is it just like I got 30 of these, I got 40 of these. I don't have time for this. Like,
I won't say that no attorneys care. I think there's a lot that care. I think when you work with attorneys in the collaborative space, their role is to help both sides agree, right? Agree to disagree, but get through it, not take each other out. So I think those attorneys do. I've interviewed a few attorneys that, have come on and wanted, turned loan officer kind of thing. And in the attorneys we've asked this question to, they don't. They'll generally refer them back to their servicer. They'll tell them to call their lender. And a lot of times,
say
for
what?
lack of any thought, they'll tell them, hey, go call the realtor that helped you buy the house. They're like 18 years ago? I don't think so, and they don't know. And it's not, again, it's not that they don't care, but I think that's the framework, for a divorce, where divorce mortgage planning comes in. It's not theory, it's real,
So is a CDFA the same as a financial, is a financial planner? They have a more certification as far as it?
Yeah.
Okay. So okay.
Very, very similar to myself or any CDLP out there, right? I hold the designation through the Divorce Lending Association called the CDLP, the Certified Divorce Lending Professional.
Okay.
So I'm a loan officer who has taken the time to be an expert in divorce.
Okay.
A financial planner with that CDFA designation. They're a financial planner. So their role, right? They can't do any financial planning when someone's going through a divorce. You have to separate assets, 401ks, businesses, Roths, and all of those plans have different rules. And that's where you utilize a CDFA in that capacity, but they can't do any financial planning for them, right?
Yeah.
While they're going through a divorce. But guess what? They got to divide those assets, and someone needs to manage those going forward. So it's a way for financial planners to get more AUM, assets under management.
Love it. So you wanted to go over, man, there's so many directions I want to go with this. I just want to blurt it out, and I'm not going to. So I'm trying to hold back. I'm like, Lynn, me, like I'm not one.
I know you're very,
it's Christmas. It's like when I get on the phone with Lynn, it's like Christmas every day. So you want to go over some numbers. Go ahead. Wherever you want to take this.
Oh, it's okay. I think that there's a massive opportunity for professionals, right? For us to network and coordinate with our professionals to work together, not in silos. And I think right now that's what we're doing, right? We're not working for the greater good. As a loan officer, if you're knocking on the door of an attorney, they're going to look at you. Especially if you walk in the door with your realtor partner, you're going to look like a marketing team. Like, hey, here's my Vanna White, my goods and services. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to differentiate a different layout. And, I don't necessarily want to keep going back, but listen, the Divorce Lending Association, the CDLP, that designation, it exists because this strategy belongs in the divorce conversations, in it, before it, not as an afterthought, but as a foundation. And attorneys lack access to people like me, like our CDLPs, that can translate that mortgage into a settlement strategy. And the best way that I can explain this, and I love working in the collaborative space. If you've got two people going through a divorce, my best space for me is to work with both parties, even if they have their own representation. And often people get confused. Well, but they have their own attorneys. How could you legally represent both? Well, first of all, I'm not an attorney. I'm not giving legal advice, right? I'm not giving tax advice. And when I'm acting as a divorce mortgage planner, I'm not even giving loan advice, guys, right? Because I earn a fee for working with divorcing homeowners well ahead of ever taking a loan application. But let me back up for a minute. So going in and working with divorcing homeowners, if you're going through a divorce and you're saying, hey, my other side can buy me out, they can do this, they can do X, Y, and Z, I'm willing to work with this. Don't you want to know that they actually qualify, that the guidelines and whatever their situation is actually works through without having to actually pull a credit report? Because you don't know when they're going to refinance or when they're going to need whatever that particular strategy is, right? And so I think it's important as loan officers to accept or acknowledge the fact that even though I worked with tons of divorcing homeowners throughout my career. I'm not taking anything away from the fact of the loan officer I've always been. I'm just telling you now, with family law and financial planning and tax planning strategies and understanding how to communicate with the home buyer and all of that, I think that's where that kind of comes into play. So it's kind of essential.
But And just to clarify, you're not doing the loan. You're not the real estate agent. You're not being the real estate agent. You're not being the loan officer. You're specifically a mediator that works with judges, works with CDFAs to try to help them not get into trouble during the process and then after, so that they can go on their own separate ways, still get a home, not have financial crisis, not have credit crisis, and you're getting paid, like you're
Absolutely.
charging for that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then I just want to clarify one thing. I'm not a mediator. We
Okay.
do offer a mediation course. I haven't
Okay.
taken it. You draw on your negotiation skills,
Okay.
right? On bringing people together. You know what we're drawing on? You know what I'm drawing on? My human skills.
Mm,
You know,
just
and
real,
it's crazy
yeah.
to me that, you know, we work through the numbers, right? But people are broken. And if you really think about it, when someone goes, and if anybody on this call has ever been through a divorce, I have. When you go through a divorce, you lose access to people that have been your key mentors in your life, right? Your longtime brother-in-law. For me, it was my brother-in-law, you know?
Yeah.
And so you lose access to people that you've been used to walking through business decisions and bouncing ideas off of. And so they're looking for someone that is grounded in what they need to know, that isn't grounded in the drama or the gossip of what they're currently living in.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Right?
Good stuff.
And so we can become that neutral third party. But listen, you know, it's kind of like, what do we do about it, you know, as an industry? And so you're going to always see me like screaming from the rooftops, right? Yeah, exactly. You know, a lot of times just because you're awarded the house, that's not always a good thing, guys. Everyone's like, oh my God, you got the house, you won. No, I can't afford it. No one ever asked me that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they didn't even know they couldn't afford it because they just thought they could.
Gotcha.
You know?
The one thing there's a comment in here that Jerry brought up, but one thing I love about this product is, and I've asked you this, and I keep asking you because I'm on kind of a disbelief. This is not market driven. This is not rate driven. This is not inventory driven. It doesn't matter what's happening in the world. Like one of the D's, right? Death, divorce, diamonds, diapers, and debt. It's one of the D's it has to take place when this is going through. And you had some numbers of different states of how many actually are going through in just one state.
And we could talk about that, right? And so one of the things that I wanted to know, so, you know, kind of a little bit of a semi-quasi, you know, I've been a coach at the Divorce Lending Association for 3 years. In January of this year, I made the decision to start my own practice because I can implement better coaching from the street, right? And so walking through that process and understanding the divorce mortgage planning market, we had to go through and understand the divorce rates by MSA, the filings, right? Home ownership rates, equity positions, the loan to values, and identifying these key markets. And when you look at and you map that data, the opportunity is undeniable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was
it's unbelievable.
a presentation to a broker owner in my home market of Southern California. And in the Inland Empire, when we broke down those stats, the number of divorce filings, 70% of all divorces have real property.
70%. Okay.
Go pull up the divorce stats in your home market and know that 70% of all those divorce filings have real property, right? In every case where there is a property attached, there is an opportunity for a loan officer to do divorce mortgage planning. It doesn't mean you're always going to charge a fee. Maybe they are ready to go straight into a loan application. You make that determination based off of what's in the best interest of the client.
Yeah.
Right. But it gives you opportunities. And so when you look at those statistics, it was almost 10,000 opportunities in just my home county this year alone in terms of divorces.
And we're only in August. We just started September, so 10,000 already.
So you know, think about that for a moment and think about the opportunities that we're presented as loan officers, right? We get to work open houses. We get to do all of these things in hopes that we get a client.
Yeah.
And yet we have this entire segment, right?
That's doing it no matter what.
That is begging for help, for knowledge, to be a resource. And yet what do we do as an industry? No offense to the realtors. I love my realtors, but hey, I'm going to go sit in an open house for 7 hours, 4 hours, and have no ROI, right?
Yeah.
And so that always brings me to the question, like, what can we do about it? And for me personally, the answer initially, before I ever became a coach or anything like that, was to get certified, right? Because it gave me the credibility to step into rooms with attorneys, with mediators, with CDFAs, right? It gave me the tools to build Splitwise, which is my own divorce mortgage planning practice. You know, it gives you the things and the tools that we need. And so, yeah, I mean, we can talk about some of those statistics, right? We can talk about you know, if you see the data, if you think about the opportunity to step into a bigger role, right? And not just for ourselves, but one of the things that I always ask everybody is what kind of an impact can you have in your community, right? This is not just chasing rates. And I know, Scott, earlier you said, look, this is a very protected industry. And what I mean by that, we're insulated from a lot of the market movers, or the needle movers that we're currently experiencing as loan officers, right? Because rates, they're not as sensitive to rates. They're not as sensitive to market fluctuations and things of that nature. But it's not because they don't care about those things. So I want to make sure that we're really clear on that, because it's not that they don't care, it's that they care about other things more. Personally, for me, when I went through a divorce, I had a son going into his first year of junior high, and my stepdaughter, technically, although we don't use that word in my house, even to this day, she was entering her senior year of high school. If there was something that I had to do to keep my rate on that house, I didn't care about the rate. I didn't care about anything. All I cared about was keeping my kids in that same school to keep the disruption to them the least amount as possible. And so when we look at this, guys, as an industry, as loan officers, we always tend to rush to the application, right? Someone's going through a divorce. Hey, I can help you. Let me refinance you. Because we're thinking with our own pocketbook, because we're self-driven, we're commission-driven individuals. But that is why I love being a fee-based advisor. I'm 100% RESPA compliant, right? We've got every banker, broker on the nation. I survived a 90-minute compliance call with a compliance VP and the entire exec team of a mortgage company. So this is ironclad, guys.
So this is what I want. I want to kind of steer it towards. Kobe's asking a great question. What's the first steps? But I want to share. You've called 5 broker owners.
Yes.
I want to go in how to tap into this. Yeah. So you called me and he's like, Scotty, I'm 5 for 5. I'm like, 5 for 5 doing what? He goes, I called 5 broker owners. They want me to. They want me to come in and do. I don't even know if it's a CE class, is it, or is it just training? It's just training.
So one of the steps. So for me personally, right, it's conceptually, how do we get in front of more attorneys? How do I get in front of more mediators? All of these folks, right? And earlier you heard me say something where I said we walk in hand with our realtors and we look like a marketing team. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about doing is, and what I did is I went to 5 broker owners and I presented to the broker owner to come in and let me talk about the business of divorce. Let me educate their agents. And they could do one of 2 things. They could come to a lunch and learn or a CE. I can teach it either way. Okay. So a lunch and learn or a CE class where I go in deep on the business of divorce. At the end of that, they'll walk away and be great and no foul. Or they can come in and they can enter a 6-week training course where we're going to go deep. Now think about this for a minute. Our realtor partners, guys, and I was telling this to Scotty the other day, I was really thinking about it. No, we don't want to walk arm in arm, but our realtors are the most sociable. I know we've got some folks here that are realtor loan officers. You're all the most sociable. Like it took me a lot to get this color behind me. I'm not very
high
classy.
Eyes, baby.
I'm a ones and zeros person because I'm a loan officer, right? But our realtor partners, they're like energetic, they're excited, they're bubbly. And what is their nature? Their nature is to do what? To know everybody's business. They know who's in school, who's where, who's what. They are a connector in our communities. And so I reached out to the broker and said, I want to invite them into the 6-week class. I want to reteach them, re-talk to them, educate them on the reason that they don't. Do you guys know this? Let me just back up for a minute. Do you guys know one of the number 1 reasons that people don't get repeat referral business from divorcing homeowners? And not even from the community, like that whole neighborhood becomes dead.
They just don't follow up.
When they go sell that house, what's the first thing a realtor does? They go advertise with champagne. Just sold. Then they're celebrating the sale. And they're missing the point that they shouldn't be celebrating the breakup of a family. Right. And so how do we teach them to celebrate without celebrating? How do we teach them to go out on the TikTok and all of the platforms that they use where they're connecting with that consumer? And talk about divorce from an emotionally intelligent perspective. How do they market? And so what I'm doing is I'm putting out this army of realtors out there that I'm going to go through the 6-week course with the end goal of, because I can, as a CDLP, teach CE, CL, so CE being continuing education for CL.
All 52 states too, right?
40 something.
40 something state. Okay, almost the whole U.S. Okay.
CLE, continuing legal education for the attorneys.
Okay.
And in the
for the attorneys.
For the attorneys, and in the great state of Florida, the CJE for the judicial. So we're starting to break into that, right?
The judges.
So, the goal
so you can literally get in front of the judges who know all the attorneys. Holy smokes.
I literally can stand in front and grab any presentation right here of any kind, right? That I've got all these printouts on.
Yeah.
Sorry if you guys saw my behind. And every single one of these is approved by the Bar Association, right? By the state of California and the other states. And so we work with you on getting approved by the bar associations, the CFP boards to teach the financial advisors.
Yeah.
This is serious business, guys. And so what we're doing, the whole thought of is educate them with the end goal of let's teach a CE class. Let them fill the room for you. Work with them and their referral partners, their vendor relationships, their title companies. You're big on pulling out from title and other places, right?
Yeah.
How do we fill the room with the goal of doing that? Once we fill the room, we're going to invite that realtor to be on my podcast to identify them as their divorce savvy realtor in their neighborhood.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got this all planned out, right?
Yeah.
To where the end goal is to invite that family law professional onto the podcast and invite them into and create a local, hyper local networking group with a divorce savvy real estate agent, right, who understands the mechanisms of divorce, with a CDLP like me, and then just constantly, that's the best BNI breakfast networking group you're
nothing
ever
better,
have, right? And if any of you happen, and I'll just say this, Scotty, real quick, sorry. If any of you happen to work with like a senior, you know, the real estate agents, they have all those senior designations.
Yeah.
Those senior designations, right, that work with seniors. Did you guys know that the greatest demographic of divorcing homeowners is our seniors?
Yeah, right. Right. 60 and older, or 55 and 65.
Their
Okay.
divorce rates tripled. Yeah, in the last 25 years.
All right.
So I don't know about you guys, but who here likes reverse mortgages?
Yeah, no.
Right?
Yeah, no.
They're terrible.
Big
loans. No, they're fantastic loans for the right person, the right situation.
Let's talk about the first step. Like, so one is, how does somebody, like, in Kobe's like first steps, can we talk about the referral piece, or do you want to get CDLP, or do you want me to ask that question again? Or
where I'm going with it is so there's a lot of different ways that you guys can all get involved, right? One of them, the first thing that I would love for you guys to do, get certified.
Get certified.
Come to the Divorce Lending Association.
Yeah.
We have been in business for going on 12 years now and have created CE courses and just tons of content and social media and the entire package. There isn't anything else. I am the primary coach there. I help write content with Jody. It's an amazing thing.
How do they get to, what's that site?
Go to, you can go to Get CDLP Certified. Get CDLP Certified. .com.
Okay.
So you're going to go through that, and I would encourage you to get certified. I'd encourage you to get involved in the process of rolling this entire business out. Everything that I've talked about today is available for our members to do the exact same thing.
So once I have this certification, I can teach the CE classes. Am I certified to teach the CE classes? Do I need to be part of a school to do the CE class?
Correct. So once you get certified, you're part of our core membership. With that comes our entire marketing library, which is our business development. How do you approach the attorneys? How do you not sound like a loan officer? We do a little bit of deprogramming.
Yeah.
Because the difference between me and any traditional loan officer is my perspective, to be honest. How I approach, what I say, how I say it, the timing, the delivery. And then obviously we've got to run through the mechanics and all of that, right?
Yeah.
Cool. David, the investment. So to get certified, it's $24.95. So $2,495.
Is it broken? Is it one time, broken over payments?
You do a one-time payment through the Divorce Lending Association. We will finance it for you over the next 12 months.
Okay.
We've got a Klarna option.
So 12 months, so you can break it over 12 months. Yeah.
We've made it so incredibly simple for you. Literally, if you got one divorce mortgage planning case
You're done.
this year,
you pay for it.
Pay for your certification.
Yeah. So $200 a month. Not even. Yeah. So cool. Okay. And so the thing that, and Kobe, to answer your question, I would just start talking about it. Like Lynn, I like when I do start this, which is very soon, Lynn's on my team. Lynn's part of my team. I don't want to do what Lynn does. I want Lynn to do that piece. And then if any loans come from it, they're coming back to me. I'm going to go out and build. I'm going to go out and present, teach. What's that?
I said, I'm not in the loan business anymore.
No.
Honestly, if I don't,
I'm not in the loan business either.
You know, the only loans that I actually will originate personally will be reverse mortgages, because that's just a special place in my heart, and something I feel that they need that sensitivity even more so, right?
Yeah.
But you know, this is about creating an opportunity. And guys, listen, I'm in my 50s, so you know, how do we sunset into our career without having to, you know, schlep open houses and water and, you know, signs every weekend? But that doesn't mean we turn our back on our realtor partners either, right? The realtors are a very key component to this entire ecosystem, you know, and having the knowledge to show them the way is the way to do it, you know.
The beautiful piece that I said to you, I said, Lynn, do you, like, you focus so much on this niche, do you get other opportunities as well? And you're like, yeah, all the time. Like it's like Kristen Jameson presented on reverse mortgages inside of real estate offices, but guess what? She had one pocket had reverse mortgage card, business card. The other pocket had forward mortgage card. She has yet to close in 12 years of being in business a reverse mortgage, but she's closed 24 million year to date. So like, and she does, she literally
presentation, it's phenomenal.
Like it's crazy. She goes and presents reverse mortgage purchase, but never closes a reverse mortgage, but she builds relationships with real estate agents.
Scotty, think about it. Who here would love to walk into and identify the top 3 brokerages in your community? I get it. There's a lot of real estate agents that are struggling. Listen, we're not in that business. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, woe is me, bullshit. Okay, go out there and find the business. Find the top brokerages in your community. You guys have all access to the data, right? And it gives you an opportunity to bring something of value, because how are you different, right? How is Kobe different than Brian, than Mary Lee? It rates, services, right? Yes, we all try to carve out our advice, our systems, our processes, our timeliness. We're doing anything we can to just have one little layer above the next guy, because the fact of the matter is we work in a very commoditized industry because it is numbers driven. But we can be better than that, because we can step into an environment of a protected class that needs our help and needs
every day.
Services.
Every day, thousands.
Listen, the bottom line is, we all talk about, oh, we love to pay it forward. Truly pay it forward, people. There is nothing better than looking at a broken family that you were able to kind of go, okay, let's stop the fighting. Let's come to common ground. Let's walk through this process. What are we trying to accomplish? And realizing, oh, you don't have to sell that investment property and take that $130,000 cap gains hit, because we can do a loan assumption, by the way, that you can get paid for now, right? You can do a HELOC, you know, you can do all these other things and put people back together and at least allow them to, and I tell every person this, and I know we're running low on time, but you know, when I'm talking to a divorcing consumer, right? And I always tell them, look, right now it sounds and it feels like you're standing in the vat of concrete because there's no place to move. You can't turn any which way. You can't talk to anybody. And yet we're the ones that going to, you know, that are going to kind of break that concrete apart, so that when that sun kind of feels warm on their shoulders again, and that's them coming back to whatever the new normal is, I ask them, look around. What does life look like for you? What house are you in? Where are you working? Where are your kids going to school? And then my job is to help them find a path to get there.
Yeah. Let's finish with that story. And Brian Emerson, I got to thank Brian. So Brian and I, Brian booked, introduced me to Tara, who was on yesterday. They did this profile, and Brian, her and I are going to we're going to present to a real estate office. So he's using MLO Live, how it should be used is put me in, coach, you know? So, but you end with this story of the family that you helped that was deliberating for 2 years with attorneys and lawyers, and then like you finished it. And what, I mean,
no, absolutely. So I was referred this from a real estate agent. Actually.
Okay.
And luckily enough, I presented to that agent's office, who stood up and told this story and got everybody in the office going, this is why you want to get involved in business with Lynn, in the business of divorce. She referred me a client who had not been able, long story short, the two of them had gone through mediation. They had not been able to sit down together in a room for over 2.5 years. And I was introduced to him, realized that there was an opportunity to, what we would, in our words, right, not sounding unapologetic, but to double end it, to basically do divorce mortgage planning for both sides, which is always my goal, because that's truly is planning when you can look at the best interest of both.
Yeah.
Okay, on the collaborative side. And I asked him, look, I think I could have a solution for both of you. Will you introduce me? And we did. Long story short, we got to work together. And in 2.5 months, or about 5 sessions of meeting with her, meeting with him, finding out what was important to both of them, doing a little deep dive, adding some emotional intelligence, got them to the end. And they came to what I called the closing table, right? They'd agreed on everything. Now, I'm not writing up agreements. They weren't signing a contract that's saying they're agreeing to this. They were coming to have a document notarized, and it was a milestone, or it was a milestone. So what they did, I'm digressing, they show up to this closing, right? And we were able to keep them in the keep him in the house, keep the child's child at home. And they showed up together and met me at the elevator, and they had their 8-year-old daughter with them. And I can get choked up when I talk about this stuff, because this is where you guys get to make an impact, right? When you have 2 people that have not spoken nicely to each other in 2 years, and now they have their 7-year-old child, and I'm a child of divorce, and they have their 7-year-old child standing there in front of them, and they look at you and they say, Lynn, I want to thank you, because you allowed us an opportunity and a space to learn how to communicate in our new life together. And we have not ever been able to get to this point in the last 2.5 years. And so much that we wanted to celebrate, and we're taking our daughter out for ice cream.
Oh, wow. Holy shit. Wow.
That's called having an impact, you guys.
Yeah.
That's when you want to step up. Look, people look at me sometimes and they're like, oh my God, you work divorce. Like I'm a goddamn ambulance changer. Sorry for the bad.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
I'm not. Those people are going to get divorced no matter what. All I'm trying to do is tell them to put the sticks away, stop the fighting for a moment, right? And let's bring some clarity before commitment. And that's it. That's divorce mortgage planning. And so I would, stand up from the rooftops and call every single one of you out on here that if you're looking for a way to replace lost business or bring value to a broker that is different than standing up as a traditional loan officer, then you need to come into our space and let us show you what this world looks like, because it's completely different than one in the 35 years I've ever had in the mortgage industry.
Awesome. So last question for you, Brian Masterson. Thanks for being here. Is it compensation or hourly fee?
No, compensation.
Compensation. Okay.
I personally charge flat fee. We have some CDLPs that charge hourly. For me personally, it's not my preference, because I don't want to nickel and dime the customer. They're already being charged an hourly rate by the attorney. And divorce mortgage planning encompasses a lot of varieties. And so there's a lot of different avenues or paths that you can go down. And so you don't want to limit yourself to say, I only want to do X or Y.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. All right. Devin, what do you think about that, man? Did you not get fired up when you hear this stuff, man? It's like it's a non-market, non-rate, non-inventory. Like there's like it doesn't come up.
Yeah, Lynn's awesome. I love getting a chance to wrap it up with her. It's just another, it's a niche that you can have, and we're helping people. And that's what I love about it. Because like you said, Lynn, this is happening either way. And why not set them up for success? Because again, being on the other side of these things, we've all seen those scenarios come over where it's, hey, you got to refinance it, and they can't, right? Like there's no option. They don't qualify, and then they're frustrated and stressed, or the other person's attached to the property and they can't get them off of there, and the credit starts to go bad. So what you're doing is amazing. People need that service. And, if anybody's, trying to find another niche, call Lynn, get signed up and figure out how you can do the same thing. I love it. I absolutely love it. Good
stuff. All right, guys.
Devin, appreciate you. Yeah, it's good stuff.
All right. Same time, same place tomorrow. Might have a mystery guest. I don't know. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'll just leave it right there, and you might have to show up to find out who it's going to be. So super excited. What do you got for us on the way out, Devin?
I don't know, man.
I know you're looking, man. Today? Come on, baby. Come on. Give me something good. Give me something.
We're gonna keep it consistent. All I do is win. No matter win the week, guys. Money on my mind, I can never get it.